Mongoose Jake here with my very last video of the stock Hyper Explorer. Since my review, I went ahead and wrote it a little bit more, and I ran into some issues that have appeared since the review, and I'm also giving my final thoughts before I touch it with any upgrades. I haven't even had a chance to clean it up after today's ride. I've rode it 2 of the last 3 days, so it's getting use. Actually, a lot of use. It's gotten a lot of miles on it, even since my review. So we're going to go over the things that have happened that are wrong. First and foremost, right here, the chain guide has broken. A stick simply got into it, got kicked up from the rear tire, caught in here, and ripped the mount, completely broke it. So, not a good sign, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a cheap derailleur replacement to act as a chain guide, basically, because all they've done is use the same design. It clamps onto the seat tube just like a derailleur would, and acts as a very, very basic chain guide. It was taken out by a stick. Now, something to consider about this, and it was apparent when I talked about it in the review, but it's more so. Talking about the pedals not being very smooth. They're getting worse and worse, and that's even after me taking them apart, cleaning them, re-greasing them, putting them back together with some quality lithium grease. It's just there's no waterproofing or really even dust seals on not only the pedals. I mean, that's the part that's cheap. You can see this is the better of the two, and it will not turn, as my neighbor's dog chimes in. But they will not turn. All the bearings on this bike are basically like that, except for the bottom bracket. Bottom bracket actually seems to have some water seal protection. But the front wheel is running a bit rough. The rear wheel is running quite rough. And I don't know if it'll pick this up. That is play in the rear hub. It's enough play that it actually is messing up with the shifting. It interferes with the shifting. This is a 9-speed freewheel. And I have found I'll either get decent shifting from 1 to 8 or from 2 to 9. You cannot get the spread to go. And I don't put the blame on the Falcon Saker rear derailleur. It's done a pretty good job of chain retention even after the ride where this broke. I rode another 4 or 5 miles after that broke and didn't drop a chain. So I'm somewhat impressed with the Falcon Saker considering its price point. But not so much with the rear wheel. That is a must-have upgrade, is the rear wheel. And that goes for, of course, the wheel set. The fork. I already have a fork replacement. The headset is also the same. Basically, all of the bearings have very, very poor seals of any sort, or none. Like the headset, normally at least you get a dust seal. This basically has the stack, and that's it. That's kind of the same for the hubs. The only one that seems to have, the only bearing of any sort on this bike that seems to have somewhat decent weatherproofing is that bottom bracket. It's run smooth and true the whole time. And the cranks seem fine. I'll probably just keep running with them, unless, of course, this is a attached sprocket. So the chain ring, if I decide to upgrade the drivetrain to like a narrow wide, I'll have to upgrade this. Otherwise, I'll run into chain drop and skip issues. But for now, I'm going to go with either run it without a guide until I see some major drop issues. But for now, pedals, headset right here, and fork. Those are my tip-top upgrades. Should be in my next video. So this should be the last video you see with this thing stock, and we're going to start the build process on it. So, one last look at the stock but dirty Hyper Explorer. And then we move on to the Hyper Explorer build. So, hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.